Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to our migraine strategy call day. My name is Debbie Waidl. I am a certified migraine health coach specialist here to help you find your migraine freedom without having to use all of the pills, the quick fixes, and all the gadgets that you have been using and trying for goodness knows how long you've ever had migraines. So we are here today to share with you a very special story. I am so excited to have Tyler here today. Welcome, Tyler. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Debbie.
Absolutely. So Tyler is a mom of 5 teens and a young adult. We were just talking about that, how amazing that is. Married for 24 years. She works as a realtor and spends her free time in hockey rinks watching her kids play hockey. Do you feel like you live there all the time with having 6 kids total, that you've done that most of your life?
Yeah.
I can imagine. My son was karate, so I felt like it was karate and baseball. That's where I lived all the time, was a dojo or a diamond.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll do when they all grow up.
Do you play hockey? Do you like hockey?
No, I'm the most unathletic person ever.
Well, I guess you get to live through them right now, right?
Yeah.
So Tyler, you suffered from frequent headaches since you were a teen, but things shifted in your 30s and you found that you essentially had some level of pain all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm going to love this interview because this sounds pretty much like me. I feel like it's a carbon copy. In my teens, I thought they were headaches, that I was getting headaches more often. And then, as soon as my daughter was born, it was like, what the heck? It's an everyday type of pain, not every day level 10, right? But every day, some level of pain. So how about you walk us through? I just double check Facebook on my phone here and make sure everybody's in. How about you walk us through kind of your story, from when you started with those headaches, to right before you joined, what you went through?
Sure. So, like you said, I always had very frequent headaches, but probably somewhere in the last 5-7 years, I started noticing that I just had a headache of some sort all the time. Um, Took lots and lots of Advil, and then of course got on prescription heartburn medication because of all the damage the Advil was doing. And somewhere around like the fall of 2019, I just realized that I was starting to have difficulties functioning, like the pain level was increasing. And it felt like probably 25 to 30 days a month, I was at at least a level 7 out of 10 pain. So I went to my doctor and she tried me on a preventative, pretty common one, amitriptyline.
Yep.
And it didn't help. And I gained 40 pounds in 2 months, which was not a pleasant side effect.
Nope, not at all. And not a healthy one either, right?
No. And so I went back, said, this isn't working. So then she sent me on to a neurologist. And he prescribed Emgality, which is like a monthly injection. And I had big hopes for that was going to change things. And really didn't notice any improvement with that either. I was maxing out my triptans every month. My doctor had told me I was allowed to take 10 a month, and I was taking 10 a month, and then in between Advil or sometimes Percocet, whatever.
Yeah, so did you feel like it was constantly trying to figure out, okay, I had these 10 pills. When can I take them? When do I save them for? It must have been like this game of trying to figure out what days you needed to get through the most.
Yeah, it really was. It was, we had one of my daughter's graduation celebrations, and I literally saved up my whole month's of pills to take all in those 3 days because I knew I would need all 10 to be able to actually function for those 3 days.
Yeah, that's a horrible feeling. Let me know in chat, everybody, for those of you who are watching on the other end, if that's something that you feel that you remember experiencing. I know there were a couple months where I actually put a calendar down, filled in all of my main events, and then took what I had and then just literally tried to piece it in. It's ridiculous. It's like trying to piece in a kid's hockey schedule, right? Who's picking up, who's dropping off, but you're doing it with medication instead. So let me know in chat if that sounds like you. Oh, so you're taking all these meds and they're not working. So now what's going on?
Well, I got to the point where I was just like not really functioning.
Mhm.
I would work when I needed to, kind of just drag myself and push through the pain and that kind of thing. I was getting coworkers or my kids to drive me to show houses because I knew I wasn't safe to drive because
Mm.
just the amount of pain I was in, I couldn't focus. And then I would come home and I would lay on the couch in the dark living room and do nothing. And my husband did everything. He cooked, he cleaned, he took the kids where they needed to be, and I would drag myself out to work a couple days a week and then be on the couch the other 4 or 5 days of the week, just not
Wow.
functioning.
How long do you think that was going on, that level of you not being really not being a massive participant in your family, right?
Um, we tracked back and we think it was between 18 and 24 months.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a long time to not
Yeah.
feel to that extreme. I mean, and there's many of us on here, obviously, who are watching who've had migraines for 1 year and then some all the way up to 50, levels of pain. But to have that level that you had, I can't imagine that was easy, especially with 6 kids,
Yeah.
to try to juggle. And
Yeah.
a career, right? I mean, you enjoy your job, wanted to enjoy your job. I don't know
Yeah.
how you did that on a daily basis.
Yeah. It was hard. I don't know how either.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So you're working with doctors, they're giving you pills. At what point in time did you realize that what you were doing just it wasn't going to work for you?
Um, I think probably after I had been on the Emgality for about 6 to 8 months with no change.
Hmm.
And I prior to the Emgality, I forgot to mention I had tried Botox for several months
Okay.
as well. So I'm
Okay.
like, neither of those worked, which are kind of supposed to be the miracle cures. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just at the end. I wouldn't say that I was suicidal, but I certainly didn't really want to keep living like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that, and thank you for sharing that. I know that what you just said there resonates with so many women in this group because you do hit a point where the doctors keep giving you meds, keep giving you things to do. They tell you it's going to be the fix, and then it's not. So you lose hope, right? You
Yeah.
lose hope that there's going to be anything out there that's going to actually help. And I actually had a meeting with my team yesterday. We have a team of 12 amazing women who support all of you to your migraine freedom. And we made the decision that this year our word is hope, because we can give that hope that there is hope. But obviously you weren't feeling that. You were not feeling that with your doctors at all. So
No.
what made you decide to do something different than what you were doing? You were doing the same thing over and over again, meds, meds, meds. What kind of brought you to us, to where you are now?
Um, well, I think, you could call it luck or fate or God or whatever. Personally, I feel like definitely there was, a higher power at hand in that I completely stumbled across the Women's Migraine Freedom page. Um, I don't know how it popped up in my feed.
Mhm.
I guess the bots caught me searching for another migraine cure.
The
And
bots can be helpful at times,
yeah,
right?
and and I joined and I just was quietly sitting watching for
Hmm.
about probably 2 months.
Hmm.
And I watched a few interviews like this where I joined in on. So I was like, okay, this isn't, this obviously isn't some fake
Hmm.
pre-recorded thing with an actor because I'm on the live
Yeah.
Zoom with the person posting my questions.
Yep.
And then I tried one of the challenges that you did,
Okay.
like I think it was a 3-day, and I for the first time in a long time I had a little bit of hope.
Hmm.
So I showed it to my husband and I said, like, I think I want to sign up for this program. It's going to be a little expensive. What do you think? And he was like, it's already been expensive. So do what you have to do so that we can get you back.
Aw. Yeah, your husband was super supportive during all this, which is amazing. It is really amazing. And you made a very good point, that you have spent a lot of money over the years, which I know is an emotional thing. You've spent so much money trying to end your pain. If you added it all up, I'm sure the number would make you ill. I know my number. I try not to think about it, the amount of money that I spent. But even for those women watching right now that haven't gone to that extreme, that haven't spent the money, think about the value you can put on your time.
Yeah.
I think that's the really important thing. Tyler mentioned, just going to work, barely going to work, having to have her family take her to work, do her job, come home, lay down, not being an active part of your family. What price can you put on that? There is a cost, as Tyler has said, to, when you work with us privately, but I can guarantee you that we keep that cost as absolutely low as possible to give you the results that you need. So Tyler did jump on a call. You did decide to work with us, and tell us how you're feeling now. Do you remember when you started, by the way? I was going to look that up. Oh, in August. I just looked it up. Okay. So August was when you worked with us, right?
No, I think it was May. I think I started
was it May?
in May. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I went May through August. And then,
so quite a while ago,
yeah.
right? And we worked together for 4 months in the Freedom From Migraine Method. So I hear a lot of times people say, oh, it's only going to work for the 4 months and then you're going to feel bad afterwards. So Tyler's here in January. How you feeling now?
Like really good. Amazing, actually. Ironically, yesterday, I had a bad head day because I had, a couple rough days of not getting enough sleep and feeling a bit stressed. And so I went to track on my tracker that I was having a rough day. And my last rough day before that was 5 weeks prior.
Wow. Nice.
So, like in the program, I dropped down to about 5 migraines per month. But since the program, I've dropped down to about 1.
Wow. And you were having daily pain?
Yeah. 24/7.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And well, I shouldn't say it's amazing. It's your hard work. You put the work in, which I think is another thing you and I talked about before, that there is work involved.
Yeah.
You don't just show up and hand over a little bit of money and say, okay, I'd like to be migraine free. But do you feel that the work that you had to do was worth it for you?
Absolutely. It was, it was the most difficult part was really kind of just getting started those first couple weeks because the level of pain, partly like it's hard to work through that pain and also that lack of hope. But you're in there with a supportive group of women at different stages of the program, and you can see like women near the end of the program who are so much improved that it kind of just motivates you to keep going and to put in the time and just spend those few hours a week. Like it's not a lot of time, but you can't skip it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just spend those few hours a week and work the steps of the program, and like the change comes. It does. It is so very worth it. The absolute best time and like the best 4 months investment of my life and the best financial investment of my life, because I got my life back.
You do have your life back. It's so good to see you now. It's so good to see the difference from the first time that we met. So I was just trying to think, if you had migraines when you were teens, so would you say it was 3 decades, about 3 or 4 decades that you've had migraines?
Yeah. Yes. 3 decades.
So if you think about 3 decades worth of migraines, and so we go April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 9 months. 9 months time to go from 25 migraines down to 1. Not a bad deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the great thing is after 4 months, you still had massive progress. 25 to 5 is huge. You know,
Yeah.
it just shows that it just takes time for the body to continue to heal, right? And I think that's a
Right.
key thing. We do these, you ladies are so wonderful to give your time, because you're giving your time and coming on here to share your story. And I know why you're doing it. You're doing it because those stories meant so much to you, you know, before you signed on. And I know everyone in this group right now who's watching. We've got Sandy on, and Christine and Valentina and Lynn and Louise and Catherine and Brenda. We've got so many women on. I know they all appreciate hearing the story, you know, that there is hope, you know, and that after the 4 months time frame, you know, you put the work in, and you might not be 100% migraine free, but that's just because you've had decades of pain.
Right.
And you just need that extra time to heal. So you're living proof that when you continue to follow the steps, you get to the end goal that you want to. Plus, I'm guessing yesterday that migraine you mentioned, you knew why it happened.
Mhm.
And I bet you got rid of it a lot faster than what you would have in the past.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It didn't last all day or several days, right? It was within a few hours. I was able to bring that pain level down, and I was still able to go to my daughter's hockey game last night that went until 11 p.m.
Oh, geez. Did they win?
No.
Oh, a little double-edged sword there, but at least you were
Yeah.
there. You were there, you enjoyed it, and you got to watch it, and not
Yeah.
like I used to have the sunglasses on and kind of your eyes half closed when you're, you know, when your kid says to you, "Did you see my hit?" You're like, yeah, sure I did. Sure
Yeah,
I did.
exactly.
My eyes closed in pain. But well, everyone watching here, please let me know if you have any questions for Tyler. We're about to wrap up here. So if there's anything you want to ask her, please let me know. I know Valentina is over there. She's popped in some words that Tyler was sweet enough to write up for us. So please make sure you take a look at that. And Louise is saying, yeah, she definitely tried to save her triptans for busy days, certain events where she can't afford to be in too much pain. Yeah, I think we all have tried to do that, because that's the only hope the doctors have given us, right? Here's your meds. You know, this is what you need to do. So Tyler, as we wait for some questions to come in, hey, Maria, what would you want to say to these women that were just like you know, way back in, you know, February or March of 2022, when you joined the group and you were kind of lurking around, really skeptical, checking everything out? You know, what would you want to say to those women that would kind of help them have some hope?
I think I would just say, you know, don't wait. That it's not another gimmick. The program really helped, and it will be worth every little bit of time and money that you put into it, and it will change your life. So if you're sitting there just kind of thinking about, oh, you know, do I want to try this? I'm not sure. Don't wait, don't question, just jump in, try it. I promise you won't regret it.
Yeah. What was your husband said after the program? Didn't he say something to you when you were done? You know, what a difference
Yeah.
he saw in you?
Well, about halfway through the program, actually, he said to me, he's like, you know, how's that migraine program thingy going for you? And I was like, you know, good. Like I'm seeing some progress. And he says, yeah, me too. He said, it sure is nice to see you off the couch.
Aw, aw. That is so sweet. That is
Yeah.
so sweet. And it is nice when you can start seeing that progress, because let's face it, none of us deserve the pain, you know, but it gets so normalized. You know, doctors normalize it
Yeah.
by just giving us medication that covers it up, instead of saying to us, if you do some work, you know, not a massive amount of work, but yeah, there's some work. If you do some work, then we can actually get to the root cause and stop it instead of covering it up. And I think that's what you learned, Tyler, is that this was something about getting to that root, stopping it, instead of just daily trying to manage. So what fun things can we do now? What are we doing now that we're not in pain anymore? Are you back to work normally and loving your life and going to all these hockey games?
Yeah, I'm back to work full time, enjoying my job again. Being able to participate with my kids' stuff and like, you know, show up for it. I'm actually back managing my daughter's hockey team, which I loved doing and I had to quit doing for a few years. You know, we went on a trip this past summer, and which I was actually able to enjoy and participate in, you know, doing some activities with the family. We've traveled for hockey tournaments and just so many things that I didn't do for 2 years because I knew I wouldn't be able to, and that it would just make me worse.
Oh, I'm so happy. That makes me so happy. And for those of you who don't know me well, this is why I do this job. That is why. You know, Tyler suffered with migraines a lot longer than I did, but I had 10 years of not being able to do things, you know, during the time when my kids were young. So I missed, you know, those little years that I'll never get back. But it's so thrilling now when I can talk to women like Tyler on calls like this and see all the amazing things that they can now do. And I know a lot of you are doing those things, but you're not really doing them. You're going, but you're not really there, right? We're hiding behind the sunglasses. We're hiding behind the medication. We're brain foggy. We don't remember it well. Like my kids will still tell me stories. Don't you remember that, Mom? I'm like, no. I mean, it was during like my migraine time. I don't remember half of that stuff. I don't remember holidays and birthdays and maybe a tiny bits and pieces, but it wasn't too much pain to remember it. So yay, I love it. I love it. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for taking your time today, and for everyone that's watching over in the Women's Migraine Freedom Group. Thank you so much for being here. You still have people popping on. Maria's popping on. Sandy's on. So I greatly appreciate everyone being here. And if anyone is curious, if they can see results like Tyler is, please let Valentina in the chat know. We will set you up for just a quick 15-minute call. It is a complimentary call to you, and it is just an opportunity for us to see where you are in your health journey, what you've tried, and if there is something that we can do to help you get the same results. If we can't, we will be 100% honest with you and make sure that you get to somebody who can. But if we can help you, then let us at least share with you how we can do that and what that would look like so that you can get to hockey games and traveling and doing all the great things like Tyler's doing. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We will see you next Thursday for our next migraine strategy call. We will be back to our normal time next Thursday. It'll be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have a chat with Cindy. I know you're going to love this interview as well. And one more thing I wanted to mention that Tyler brought up, she took our hormone challenge, which was, I think, super eye-opening for Tyler and kind of gave her a little bit of an insight of what it's like to work with us and actually work on your migraine freedom. We will be hosting that again this month. It will be coming up at the end of the month. So if anyone is interested in the challenge, please comment challenge below. And once we announce the dates, Valentina will reach out and make sure that you have that information. It is one of my favorite things to do in this group. And I, you know, as Tyler mentioned, I think it's super helpful and it's not super labor intensive. Looks like Tyler froze. So
Sorry.
Nope, don't be sorry. We can hear you in the background. So anyway, Thank you again, everybody. There you go. You're back. I didn't want to leave with you just hanging out. Tyler's coming to us from Canada. I'm in the US. Sometimes things don't work perfectly with internet, but anyway, thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for being here, and everybody, here's to your migraine freedom. We'll see you in the group. Take care. Bye-bye.